Review. Mr. Justin Seach proclaims at every opportunity that he never destroy the values, methods, and goals of traditional humanistic study. The gentleman doth protest too much. Methinks at one point I actually believed that Mr. Seach would stop being so spiteful. Silly me. True, after enduring a barrage of Mr. Seach's morbid, maledict sermons, one normally experiences intense levels of stress and difficulty sleeping and anxiety about one's physical safety as well as one's career. But Mr. Seach is squarely in favor of scilism and its propensity to collapse the society that sustains us all. This is so typical of Mr. Seach. He condemns bigotry and injustice except when it benefits him personally. To paraphrase a line from Hamlet, radicalism, thy name is Mr. Justin Seach. Mr. Seach. I could go on, but as every educated person knows, I state clearly and my conviction and my commitment to penetrate the sunny facade of Mr. Seach's magical bullet explanations with the sharpened stick of reality. I'm not naive. This goal will not be reached quickly. Nevertheless, it's inarguably the case that many of the most valued members of our community believe in building a better world, a cleaner world, a safer world, a saner world. Mr. Seach, on the other hand, believes in enshrining irrational fears and fancies as truth. I hope you're able to see the distinction I'm trying to point out. In particular, I hope you can see that I would never take a job working for Mr. Seach, given his pouty, huffy lucuberations. Who would want to? That's our situation today, a very rough outline. Of course, I've left a few thousand details and refinements and qualifications out. I've not mentioned that some of the soporific slime balls don't have a clue, and I've ignored boosterism altogether. I've simply pointed out the key fact that Mr. Justin Seach is chomping at the bit for a chance to contaminate clear thinking with his dually ugly ramblings. His thoughts, his low ends, and ignoble gains. Every thinking person knows this. A necessary first step towards recovery is to look at Mr. Seach with new eyes, unclouded by a lifetime of false information and deception propagated by virulent ne'er-do-wells. Every rational person knows this. A complete description of the problem with Mr. Seach's viewpoints would occupy several volumes. Every sane person knows this. I could go on, but as every educated person knows, I state clearly and with conviction my commitment to penetrate the sunny facade of Mr. Seach's magic bullet explanations with the sharpened stick of reality. I'm not naive. It just repeats after that.
Does it?
Yeah, maybe I got them in the wrong order. Let's see. So it's just mixed up a little bit. Fuck, dude, this gotta be the end, dude, because it's a line from Hamlet, radicalism. Thy name, Justin Seach. Mr. Seach, do you feel no shame for what you've done? Before Mr. Seach spews any more psychoanalytical drivel, let me assure him that it doesn't do us much good to become angry and wave our arms and shout about the evils of his causeries in general terms. If we want other people to agree with us and join forces with us, then we must confute Mr. Seach's assertions. The following should make a good starting point. Many of us do not wish to live within Mr. Seach's walls of alarmism. Every informed person knows this. Unless we stand our ground, things will only get worse. Every honest person knows this. Mr. Seach's bossy, snappish expedients serve as a stark reminder that we must forego our petty interns and disagreements and dissuade Mr. Seach from base thoughts, low ends, and ignoble gains. Every thinking person knows this.
Isn't that perfect? Like,
that's nice. I like the way this guy writes in this fucking thing.
I have the full one on YouTube.
Yeah,
Fucking
where was